Okay, so it's hot outside. You realize that your AC is not cooling near as good as it used to. You can still hear your compressor clicking on and off. You open your hood, you look down there at your compressor, you can see that it is clicking on and off. So you figure I'm low on Freon. Well, chances are you're right, and I'm going to help you with that today. So today I will be using this reusable AC gauge and hose set. It's designed to go on a R134a can of Freon. This is made by Arctic Freeze, and I've had it for about 2 years now, and I've used it several times. It's got a quick connect coupling on one end of the hose that's designed to go only on the low pressure side of your AC system, which is what we need. And I have already got it attached to a can of R134a. Okay, before we go any further, I will tell you that you're going to need to put on a pair of safety glasses. Your eyes are very valuable, and you're not going to want to play around with anything like this without safety glasses on. So there you go, there's your safety tip. Okay, go ahead and locate the low pressure fitting on your AC system. It's going to be on the thicker line, not the smaller line. Clean off any dirt from around this cap. Go ahead and take your cap off. Okay, so before we begin, you're going to want to put your AC system on, of course. Turn your fan all the way on to high. Make sure your AC button is clicked. Turn on your recirculation mode. I like to put it at full force at the vent. And you should be hearing your compressor click on, trying to do something. But you're just not getting that cool air out of your vents, or it may not be as good as it used to be. Okay, for best results, make sure that your vehicle's in the shade and make sure that your doors are open. Okay, before you begin, go ahead and give your can a good shake. And now we're going to attach the quick connect on to the low pressure side of the system. You'll feel it snap into place. Now let's look at our gauge for a minute. Okay, when that compressor clicks on, you'll see that needle is going all the way down to just about the upper end of low. And it goes higher when the compressor clicks back off. When this happens, you always want to go with the lower reading to determine how much Freon is in your system. And if that needle is getting down as low on yours as it is right now on mine, that means it needs a little shot of Freon. So that's what we're going to do. If that needle does not get down to the low, then technically you do not need to put any Freon in your system. In my case, the needle is getting all the way down to low when the compressor clicks on, so we're going to give it a shot of Freon. Just support your hose in with one hand and give your can another good little shake. Be careful of your drive belt going down there. You definitely don't want to hit it with your can that's hanging down. You definitely want to try your best to hold it in the upright position while you're doing this. And what we're going to do is we're going to give it a 15-second blast, all the while kind of shaking. Just like that. And you're going to let it go. You're going to see if anything has changed. And it is coming up a bit when that compressor clicks on. It's actually staying up in the green. And you should notice your can getting cold as you're doing this process. That means that the Freon's going out of your can and into the system. Alright, we're checking the vents, so we got nice cool air there, much cooler than it was a moment ago. Alright, I'm pretty satisfied with that. Let's wrap it up. Alright, we're going to disconnect our hose. And then we're going to put our cap back on, of course. Okay, now a couple things I want to mention. It's only natural to want to put as much Freon in your car as possible when you're doing this, especially when you feel that there's more in the can. But when your compressor starts to cycle on and that needle starts to climb into that yellow, that means you really need to stop. If it goes into the red, you've gone too far. So despite the fact that you want to put in more, and I even wanted to put in more and more right then, even though I've done this many times, I wanted to see the low side come up higher. And just had to be satisfied with the fact that it was better than it was when I started. And the true test is when you go in the car and you put your hand in front of the vents. If the air is colder, that means it's got enough Freon. And you can always come back and put in more. Once you put in too much, then you have to take it to a service professional and get them to take it out with an evacuation machine. So you can always put in a little at the time, but once you go too far, then you got to take it to a service shop. So my advice, put in a little, and if you've seen the needle come up even a little bit, I would go ahead and recommend stopping, checking your vents inside the car, making sure that the air is cold, and if it is, I would stop. Then you can always come back a day later and add some more if you need to. Now the best thing is just put this on your shelf. You can leave this attached just like it is as long as you still have Freon in your can. If it's empty, of course, throw it away. And this is totally reusable. But inevitably, you're probably going to have a little bit left in here, so just put it on your shelf. It's perfectly safe as long as this is on top of the can nice and tight. So I hope you've learned something today. I hope that you now have a little bit more courage to work on your AC system. You can save yourself hundreds of dollars by just adding a little bit of Freon yourself sometimes. Thanks for watching.